that's good.
I can't tell if we're live. It's been so long since you. Okay, we are live. Everything's changed. Oh, good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, March 12th, 2024. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Dryden Wire founder Ben Dryden, and you are watching The Big Show, Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Like Fitzy and I, they believe that it's the little things that make a big difference. Give them a call today, see what they can do for you. The number's right there on the screen, 715-520-2271. Fitzy, this is the first, I think it's been 6 weeks since the two of us have actually been on a show together without a guest. We did have one cancellation in there. I was feeling under the weather, so we missed that show. So I'm like out of sorts. I didn't have a show flow. I've forgotten how to do it. I can't believe in a month and a half I've forgotten how to do our show. How are you?
Great. How are you? I mean,
a little disheveled, a little unorganized. I feel.
Well, we had a lot of guests on, a lot of important topics, a lot of cool guests. I mean, it was a fun couple weeks to do something a little different, and we learned a lot about a lot of different topics. And I know I have one more guest scheduled for April. Our highway commissioner is going to be on to talk about highway safety and what that's going to be. So that's upcoming in April. But for the next couple of weeks, it's just you and I. So people are back to just learning about nothing.
That's not true. It just what's odd though is like usually we have our show flow, and then we'll start with two sports things, and then we'll go to a commercial, and then we'll do any press releases or articles. Then we talk about that. Then usually at that point, there's been a couple of questions from people that are watching the show. I mean, the show it had this. Even though it's organic and each show is a little different, it still kind of sticks to the same structure. Well, I mean, do we really cover things from last week? I don't know. I don't know where to go, so I wrote nothing down. But I do have a sports question for you. Can we start with that still?
Yes, we can.
So NFL free agency started yesterday, and poor Mike Schaefer, or maybe he's happy about this. I don't know. Vikings fans are fickle. They love Kirk Cousins, then they hate Kirk Cousins. It's really bizarre. But that was big news yesterday. Kirk Cousins left the Minnesota Vikings, leaving them with apparently Sam Darnold is going to be the quarterback now, but they'll probably try to get a draft pick, a first rounder. So he leaves, goes to Atlanta, and Russell Wilson, which everybody knew, Denver Broncos, he leaves, and he's now with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
So the Broncos are paying him $39 million this year to not play for their team, which just still blows my mind how this whole thing works. Here's $39 million to go play for somebody else. Get out of here. But the question is, what's the bigger story? What's the biggest move? What are you more surprised by? That Kirk Cousins left or that Russell Wilson is a Steeler?
Well, I'm pretty sure that Kirk Cousins is going to leave. I'm surprised. Two things surprised me. I'm surprised Atlanta paid him 4 years, like $160 million. That's a lot for a guy coming off. He'll be 40 years old. I mean, but Kirk Cousins is good. He's consistent. So Atlanta will be a good team. That's a weak division. I also don't like that Russell Wilson can sign with Pittsburgh for $1.2 million and the other $49 million comes from another team. That's not fair. I mean, but that's how the system works. I think Pittsburgh should have to pay him, and he should get that money anyway. But whatever. I mean, it's weird. You got Russell Wilson for one. That's more than his rookie contract, or just a little bit more than his.
He signed for the league minimum.
Right.
The league minimum for his age and his experience. They literally could not pay him any less money. The league would not allow it. They paid him the absolute bare minimum.
$1.2 million when they got a great quarterback. I mean, he'll do good in Pittsburgh. I think Atlanta got the better of the deals because Atlanta's got a good offensive line, as I read last night. Yeah. So I think that was interesting. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Does this make, as of right now, the Vikings the worst team in the center in that division? Obviously, the Lions are won last year their division. The Packers, they let Aaron Jones go, signed Josh Jacobs, and now actually I don't know if anybody saw this like 20 minutes ago. Their running back Aaron Jones, who they let go, just signed with the Vikings this morning.
Yeah, that's a big deal for the Vikings. Now, if they can get somebody, now they're saying that, we're going to draft Bo Nix, and the Vikings are going to draft Bo Nix. And
I like Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix out of Oregon. Yeah. I really, really do.
I like the Michigan quarterback better.
J.J. McCarthy. Yeah. Are you going to start liking the Vikings if they draft him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay. So there we go. I have a sports question. What do you think of? I know the NBA is not real exciting right now. But what do you think of the fine that they gave? What's his name from the Timberwolves? They gave him $100,000 fine for doing the money thing to the referee.
I saw the headline on that on ESPN on their website, but I don't think I ever got around to clicking on the story. What happened?
So he got fined. He's been fined. This is his third time for saying that referees are on the take.
Got it. Who was it?
The center, Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. Got it. Okay.
Rudy Gobert gave the money sign to that Scott Foster. And
to the ref.
They fined him $100,000, but they wanted him suspended, but the league wouldn't suspend him.
By doing a money sign, is suggesting, so after like a no call or maybe a call against him or something?
He got called for a foul or a technical, and it really cost him the game, which the Timberwolves got to get their head in the game late in the game. They're
a little immature.
Late. So, but I just thought the $100,000 fine, it's what they say, $225,000 in fines just for doing the money sign in the last like 3 or 4 years.
That's what I was going to ask. So this is his third time. Has he been fined in the past?
Right. For the same thing.
So he's been fined in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've just upped it. I'm assuming they didn't fine him $100,000 last time. Maybe it was like $50,000.
65.
Yeah. So I guess I have no problem with it. My problem is, why do you keep doing it?
Right. Because he says the referees are not, because they can bet on games, they can fix games. That was his thing. I don't think so. I mean,
I get it, but I mean, if you potentially could have just lost the game,
right? This game was tied when they do that. I mean, then that's not, and there was like 2 minutes left or whatever it was. So that's not, just win the game. You don't have to worry about it. I mean,
and if he's the guy that the Timberwolves traded 4 first-round draft picks to get, and he is a beast on defense. Come on, man, use your head. I mean, if the first 2 times they're going to fine you, third time fine you more. Honestly, I actually think if you really want to stop it, I mean, third time, come on. We've talked about that when it comes like OWIs or other things. First time, we totally get it. Second, I mean, there's a question, but third, come on.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is a pattern. I think they should suspend him to wake him up because I don't think it'll ever stop because $100,000 isn't that much for them.
If you don't have any proof, it'd be like, me saying,
true,
whatever. You can't. You got to have proof.
We got national television.
Right. Bring proof that you're whatever that you think it is. You can't just assume things. So.
Yeah. I think they should. I think they should absolutely suspend him for 2 games for that, just to prove a point. Yeah, it was a waste of money. But again, I think they signed Sam Darnold as a backup. They are going to move up. They are going to get. I really do. I think they're going to try to get. It's not the first 3 picks, but it's that next tier, which I do believe J.J. McCarthy. I think that they are going to sign J.J. McCarthy.
Right.
What do you think about that? Do you think was that an appropriate fine? Do you think he should be sentenced?
To your point, I think the third time's enough. And if you have proof, bring it forward. Otherwise, you just can't keep saying stuff. You can't just keep saying that, it's going to rain today and the sun's out. And,
Oh, I see what you mean by proof. I get it.
Right. Bring proof. Bring proof then. I mean, you just can't. They called you for a foul, or win the game by 20 and then you don't take the refs out of the game. You're the player. You control the game.
Yeah.
Win the game. So anyway, that was just my thing. But there isn't. Next week is the week, NCAA basketball. Yes. That's what we're all living for.
Yes,
right now.
but boys and girls. I can't say anymore. Men's and women's college basketball stuff. March Madness starts at end of next week, end of next week. I can't wait for that. So excited.
Isn't women's college basketball just like really the hype
right now? It's fantastic. You and I talked about it last year at this time, that we're following more of the women's games than we were more of the men's games.
Sure, even more now.
I know, it's fantastic.
With LSU and South Carolina,
6 people got
Iowa.
kicked. Oh, this is great. Yeah. This is so good.
I mean, talking about storylines for the NCAA tournament.
Oh, my goodness. And
the guy's got nothing.
And Caitlin Clark's last year, is she going to go out on top? South Carolina's undefeated.
Yep.
My goodness, USC, which powerhouse school, they're going to be probably a number 1 seed.
Did you see that freshman scored more points in her freshman year than Caitlin Clark did? So now there's something.
I didn't.
Yeah. But, if she stays all 4 years, does she beat Caitlin Clark's numbers?
This is wonderful.
There's just so many storylines in the women's, and I don't know any in the men's.
Not really.
Men's are
It's still fun to watch.
Good. I love basketball.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this will be good. I can't wait. And it's better than talking about politics. Right?
What's that?
Exactly. All right, so we're going to, if anybody has any questions for us, please let us know in the comments. I guess we'll just start kind of talking about what's going on down in Barron County or any other news stories that are in our area. We'll get to all that in 15 seconds after word from Spooner Health.
Spooner Health, compassion is at the center of everything we do. It's rooted in who we are and why we're here. It unites us as providers, neighbors, and as a community. Learn more at spoonerhealth.com.
Alrighty.
I was with Mike Schaefer the other night. I saw Mike Schaefer. He was at the Spooner Lumberjack game, played in Rice Lake because of something with ice and Spooner. Like they double booked or whatever, and they had to do a makeup game, so they came to Rice Lake. And I talked to Mike Schaefer for a whole period of hockey. It was great.
Aw.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, we like him.
And he knows everything.
Yeah, he does.
He's a smart.
Yeah, Spooner House really, I think it would be fair to say that they both are happy to be in there. Spooner House lucky to have Mike, and Mike's lucky to have Spooner Health, but he does such a great job, and he's a guest on our show and a friend of ours, so duh. You're welcome, Mike.
Right.
Yeah. So there were a lot of stories. I don't think you've actually put out a press release, which is just great. I mean, usually you put one out. Right. Usually you put one out. We have to, we talk about it on the show, but there hasn't really been. But there have been some things that were going on down there. Do you recall anything of significance? Any stories that you have seen from a Barron County Sheriff's Office point of view?
Last week we had that fatality, or I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And,
Cameron.
that was the State Patrol handled it, and they did the press release on it. That was a tragic thing. I see it was in the paper. We had a really neat event. It's called the Multi-Agency Response event at the Cedar Mall. It would have been 2 weeks ago now. Again, 2 weeks ago today, we were at the mall and had 21 different agencies come and give people services. The people, maybe they were, homeless, they were jobless, they were just needed some extra help. We had health care, we had haircuts, we had everybody in the room, all these different agencies were in the room, and you had to get services today. So if you came there, it wasn't like, hey, just call this number and they'll help you. No, it's like, hey, we're going to sign you up right now for an appointment. Do you have transportation? Do you have this? It was a really neat event. This is the second time we've done it. We talked about it about 6 months ago when we had 4 months ago when we had it. We've helped over 200 different people, families, and that maybe will take, if we can get you a job and a house, then maybe you don't need help anymore and you're on your own, and your kids have things and clothes, and the Spooner Living Waters Church was there and gave everybody food when they left, and just a little bit extra to make your day a little brighter. So a lot of people made a difference, and everybody did their part. And then we talked about the little things make a big difference, but everybody did their part in 2 weeks ago, and we made a difference in people's lives. So I thought that was a pretty cool event. We always talk about the negative things, and we try to talk about positive things on the show, but press releases don't usually, lend itself to positive stuff. But this is something that really was positive by a lot of different community organizations in Barron County.
Speaking of that positiveness, and speaking of the guests that we've had on, this seems to go kind of along those lines. And I'm curious just about your train of thought, how you see what you see, and when you notice this stuff and trying to make that difference. We do talk about it. It is our moniker. It is our saying here on the show. Little things make a big difference. But it's easy to say that. And It's not actually that hard to do it because, again, it's just little things. But you've always seemed to have that focus. So for people who haven't seen, we had 3 guests on per your request because you felt that this was going to better the community, to educate people on what these are. Who was the first guest? That was Jennifer, if I recall. I can't remember.
Jen Mason, who runs our Benjamin House, which is our homeless shelter.
Yeah. And why did you want her on?
Because I was
talking about that. So if anybody, you can go and watch all these on our YouTube channel. Just search Dryden Wire on YouTube. You'll see all these shows with guests that we've had so far this year. So please, sorry, Fitzy, why Jen Mason?
I think I wanted people to know what the Benjamin House does. I wanted to take the stigma out of people when you talk about homelessness and why people are homeless. It's not because they're drugs and alcohol or and mental health. It's just some people are down on their luck and they just need a little help. So I think the stigma and what we have for resources out there and where your money goes. A lot of people give to these nonprofits that we talked about, the last 3 that we talked about. A lot of people give, and I want the people to know that their money's going to a good cause for the right reasons, and we're using it wisely. And I think as a board member on 2 of the 3 guests that we have, I want people to know that their donations mean something. It's not just, hey, I'm asking you for money again. This is great. I want you to know your donations are going somewhere they that deserve it, that are helping people, that are making a difference in the community. And stigma was the big thing, both for the Boys and Girls Club and the Benjamin House.
Good morning, Lori, and good morning, Representative Gabe Magnifici. Yeah, you had said you were on the board of 2 of the 3. You would have been on the board for the third one had there been a board, or if there was a board for it. I'm fairly certain you would have been on that one. So yeah, Jen, she was just brilliant coming on and talking about that. That was actually all 3. I learned so much, and hopefully other people did as well. So then the second guest on, who was that one?
That was Lori Zarbach, our Boys and Girls Club director.
That's right. And that one, yeah. Also, so why did you have that conversation, or why did you want to make sure? Because you had these 3 written out way ahead of time. You said, I want these 3 guests on. Why?
And I want people to know, and Boys and Girls Club in the Benjamin House depend on our budgets are almost, I think they're both at $1 million-ish to run nonprofits in Barron County. That they cost like $1 million to run our organizations. That's staffing, buildings, costs of doing programming, everything like that. I want people to know that we need your donations to make that work. And I know you donated, and I thank you for that. And I know other people have donated, and I appreciate that. But I think it's important that people know that we're serious about this. I mean, this isn't your money went somewhere, don't worry about it. I want people to know where their money goes, why we do it. I think there's some stigma that the Boys and Girls Club is for, bad kids or, kids that just can't be home by themselves or anger, no, it's a fun place to go. They learn. There's a lot of different opportunities for kids to grow at the Boys and Girls Club. It's for any age, any kids. My kids went there when they were younger. I mean, it wasn't for troubled kids or anything like that.
That's what I always thought it was. No kidding.
Right. Yeah. And it's not. And so a lot of kids go there. So I just want everybody to know how many kids go there, how many kids we serve. I think people underestimate how many kids need it. The cost of it, $25 a year for after school activities is pretty cheap. I think it's a great thing. And we're building a new clubhouse. I wanted people to know where their money's going. We're building a new aquatic center, a new Boys and Girls Club. It takes a lot of community support to do something like that. I want people to know their money's being used wisely. We're not building something we don't need just to build it. So
Washburn and Brennett need to get a Boys and Girls Clubs, or is there? I don't think Washburn, and not to my knowledge, Brennett either. You also have to remember. I mean,
Sawyer.
What's that?
Sawyer has one.
Do they? Well, I'm glad you said that, because I was just about to say, you also have to remember that we're like a third of the size of Barron in Washburn County and Burnett County, but Sawyer is also the same as us, so that's interesting. Yeah,
they partnership with the LCO community out there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, they were I think they had one before we did, actually. I think we toured theirs when we've been trying to do a gym and an addition on our Boys and Girls Club forever. The biggest partner with the Boys and Girls Club is the Rice Lake Area School District for their after school programming for their kids, because school districts have to provide some kind of after school. A lot of schools have, in Cameron, I think it's called the Comet Club and things like that. So they provide after school activities under what's called Fund 80 money, which is not a tax levy money. I don't exactly know how Fund 80 goes, so you'd have to get a superintendent on here to describe Fund 80 money. But it's a money that they can use to support kids and after-school programs and different things. They can use the Fund 80 money. I don't remember. I was on the school board for years, but I don't remember where exactly Fund 80 money comes from. But it comes from taxes. Yep. But there's different rules that superintendents can use for Fund 80 money.
And then we had another Jen on. That was just last week.
Yeah, Jen Jaco, who runs our ADRC programs, and there was tons of programs there that people knew about.
But I just want to quickly point out that both of those, when Jen Mason was on and when Lori were on, we had a lot of positive feedback. But when Jennifer Jaco was on, I mean, even my mom, my wife, Drusha, and multiple others, we would get some emails. And usually we get emails, it's not always the greatest emails. It's, why are you doing this? We had so much positive feedback and said, I'm so glad that you had Jennifer Jaco on. She was she was a great guest. It was learned so much about ADRC. We had tons of positive feedback from that show.
And she only got to the tip of the iceberg on some of the things that they have. And she actually, I talked to her afterwards and said, she did a great job. She's like, we'll be on anytime talking about any program you want to talk on. So maybe if I can't be on some weeks, you can have her back, and her staff can be on, and 3 of them can talk about whatever they want to talk about, because there is a ton of programs at ADRC that they need volunteers for. That wasn't that we need your money for that one. It's what we need your time for that one So from Meals on Wheels and how many Meals on Wheels were delivered just in Barron County, I mean, I think it's staggering the number of people. And the reason why we do Meals on Wheels is just not to feed somebody. It's that social interaction and the dementia care and the different things that we do. So I think that was just a special one too, that as we grow older and as our parents and we grow older, I mean, those are all services that people need and want. And so keep volunteering. If you're looking for something to do, call your local ADRC. I don't care what county you're watching this in right now, and volunteer 1 hour a week, 10 hours a week, whatever you want. You're looking for that hobby for the winter, the spring, the summer. There's tons of opportunities to volunteer at an ADRC.
And you had mentioned at the beginning of the show. So I'm sorry. By the way, anybody can go back and watch those. The 3 guests that we've just recently had on. We also threw in a Brad Schimmel in there, former Attorney General. He was also one of our guests. We had 4 guests in 5 weeks. Those are on our website at Dryden.com or, right here on Facebook on our videos tab, or just go to our YouTube and search Dryden Wire. They're all there. And then you had mentioned at the very beginning, we're going to have someone on in April, Highway Commissioner?
Highway Commissioner of Barron County, and talking about it's Highway Safety Week in April. And he's kicking off that with a big push to make sure people know. I mean, the orange barrels are coming out a lot earlier. So we actually, I think they wish they would have moved this week up because orange barrels are out there already. I know they're starting work projects. I know the Spooner from Rice Lake to Spooner, they're going to do the other side of the freeway. I think that starts next week. So expect a lot of orange barrels out. They're going to be single lane there for, I think it's like 20 miles. Where they ripped up the one side, at 53 last year. Now they're going to do the other side. So they can start all these projects earlier, which is good for us. And with no snow, no frost, so all these barrels are out sooner. Normally the snow doesn't melt. We don't start work projects till April. And so that's why it's Highway Safety Week that week. So,
and speaking of that is why I'm actually thinking about getting a golf membership this year.
Oh yeah.
Because talk about getting your dollars worth.
Yeah, Turtleback opened yesterday.
They're all going to be opening here in the next couple of weeks, or most of them will be sporadically here and there. I think some of them, they kind of have like their own internal rules. I think Spooner is something like it has to be at least 35, no lower than 35 degrees for consecutive nights or something weird like that before they kind of make that decision. But a lot of the driving ranges are open. But there's often times in a year you don't really get to go out to the golf course until mid-May. And we're in second week in March. You get like 2 extra months of golf, and it's going to be dry this year. At least that's what I'm told. Dirk will be able to answer that question. But my understanding is it's supposed to be dry as well. And so you're not going to have a lot of days where it's going to be raining, so you can't go golf. I'm just saying, if you're going to get a golf membership, this year may be a good year to do it.
Right, if you bought it early enough too. I mean, they're going to make.
I think I'm going to go out to. I think I'm going to do Butternut this year. Have you ever been to Butternut?
Yep.
I love that.
Butternut's a big supporter of some of our community events. I know they sponsor our hockey tournament out there, Butternut. Plus, they have a great little restaurant, great food out there. I'll go Butternut.
Oh, and it's right off the interstate. Well, it's not too far for you, right? I mean, it's the interstate.
Probably the same distance for both of us.
Nice. Yeah, it is. It's about 20 miles for me.
It's 18 for me. No, I have no idea what it is.
Actually, it's 18.8. Not that I looked, but I did check. Because I was going back to everything Spooner and Butternut. Are there any other big projects, road construction projects that are coming up? Are there big events that are coming up? Obviously, you have your normal, the Aquafest. I mean, now that it is getting nicer out, and apparently, and again, we'll wait till Dirk's forecast comes in later, but apparently it's going to kind of get back down to normal temperatures soon-ish, so maybe we won't be in the 50s and 60s, but it'll come back quickly, I'm assuming. Are you already starting to look towards your summer and going, okay, we got to start mapping this out? Do we have big road construction projects? What do we do with that? And what do you do with that? And big events coming up.
Yeah, there's events. We had a Chiefs meeting the other week. We came up with a couple of events. The casino's hosting a couple of events right now, a concert on Memorial Day weekend. So we have a concert on Friday night, which is a little bit bigger. They're thinking about a rodeo. The rodeo's moved up to Rice Lake this year. We're planning our celebrity golf outing already. We're looking at all of our festivals. We're looking at the speed on our roads. I know our patrol division was out this morning. I know they stopped 4 or 5 cars already this morning since 6, and that's because of speed. So the sun's out, the weather's nice, speed goes up. We've talked about it lots on this show because you're so happy. You're just in a good mood. The sun's beating on you. You got the music on, the windows down. even though it's March 12th today, it's Jason's birthday tomorrow. I can't forget. It's my kid's
happy birthday,
tomorrow.
Jace.
Happy birthday. He's playing hockey. They won this weekend. They're going to the final rounds. They make it to nationals if they win this weekend. So it's a big weekend of hockey. Yeah. So we got to take on the number 1 team this weekend. So yeah, a little March Madness for hockey this year. So, but yeah, Jace turns 19 tomorrow. So happy birthday to him. And, but yeah, we looked at speed. This morning. It was a little high. So we've got to, make sure that we're paying attention to our speed. So, and our orange barrels are coming out. So give those guys extra space in the work zones. No phones in work zones. We'll talk about that in April, but it's a good reminder now. Motorcycles are out. Look both ways for motorcycles. Farm machinery's out. The road bans are off already, or most road bans are off already. Fire danger is super high right now. Those are things we're talking about a lot. Fire danger is going to be big this year. I'm a little worried about it. Not much I don't know how to prepare for it. Somebody says, how do you prepare for it? I'm like, we get ready. We get our barricades ready. We may have to close roads if grass fires burn out, or start up and they jump roads. And I never understood how fire can jump a road. It fires are amazing things. You think you get to a road and stop, but it jumps the road.
It's not natural, but kind of. It's a natural barrier. You would think, but apparently it doesn't. I don't either. I don't understand how it does it. Obviously, wind has to be a part of that, but duh. Not really sure how that works.
So those are all things that we've been talking about. My administrative team, our patrol team, have been talking about. It's not summer quite yet, but it's going to be here a lot earlier. Like you said, now as your golf memberships are 2 extra months of golf membership, the course is open. It's just amazing.
Crazy.
It's amazing. So
I walked Turtleback one time. Never doing that again.
No, that's what it hurts.
Oh my goodness. And I was like in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I remember my calves just hurting so bad. That is, now I realize what I call Turtleback. Everything is hills. Like up and down and up and down. You're walking like, oh my goodness. It's hard to walk 18 at Turtleback. Take a cart.
I'm biased. I've been a Turtleback fan forever.
I love it on a cart.
Holly and I got married there. It's just been special. Bruce and Aaron, the owners, are friends, and at Turtleback, they have great meals. Lots of weddings, good banquet facility. They have meetings. They're good community supporters. So but all of our golf courses in Barron County and in Washburn County are just great. They're big supporters. We golf Spooner every year for the Spooner Health Foundation.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's I should find out when that is.
Probably August.
Yeah, I should probably ask them.
Yeah. They're probably, but that's it. I don't want to wish the summer away, but August isn't too far away. It's already mid-March. It's going to be graduation and proms are just around the corner. We actually put a prom schedule together for April.
A prom together?
Prom schedule.
Okay.
So we know how many proms are. If there's 4 or 5 proms in the county on the same night, we're going to put extra people on. Not because we think kids are bad. It's just lots of extra cars. We want our lights to be seen. Our goal here is to not sneak up and catch you. Our goal is to, prevent it. And so we tell people ahead of time. We're running our new radio ad that talks about prom safety, and we want you to come home after prom. So those are the things we're working on right now. Some bigger projects because we want our kids to get home safe. That's our goal. Graduation, we don't want you to throw away the last 12 years of working because of one night of being stupid. We're working towards all of that. So no severe storms. That's your job, Dirk. I don't have any.
I don't think that's how it works, but hey, maybe.
Okay, no storms this year. Done.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the fire danger, the storms, obviously we will get into the storm season. As Dirk talked about, we will have, there is some storms. Our sirens start next month when we test our storm sirens. Storm sirens aren't the answer because they are only limited to the number of people that hear them, but our code red, our weather channels, our internet, those are the things we use to work on that.
How many calls does 911 dispatch usually receive when they do the test? Going on?
People really know it. If it's 11 o'clock on a Monday, people know that's the testing time for the most part.
Yeah, if there's ever a fire, like a legit fire at 11 o'clock in the morning, like on a Wednesday.
Yeah. We don't do fire whistles like that anymore, though.
Oh, severe storm?
Yeah,
That's
severe
what's
storm.
right. So if it's like bad weather and it's 11 in the morning and it goes off,
We
I
don't
wonder
do
how many
them
people are just going to go, well, it's probably just a.
And you'll know it's a shorter time frame. It's 3 minutes versus 1 minute or something like that.
There is a difference. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the same sound, but it's different length or something like that. I don't.
Well, if you don't know what it is, how does anybody else gonna know?
Well,
Wait a minute. Let me see.
Shorter.
Nope, not as long enough.
Yeah, that's right. The tornado's already gone by.
Right. I feel like this is a flawed system. If I hear it, I just look outside. If it's nice out, it's okay. Must be a test.
And you can go to the internet on your phone, your computer, wherever you're sitting.
Or go to Dirk Miller's Facebook page. That's the best bet.
Dirk Miller's Facebook page. There we go. He'll have to sponsor the show pretty soon. Well, ads we give him. Yeah. I don't think he makes any money.
I don't think so. He should, though. He's awesome.
He should.
All right. Anything else going on? Again, this whole show is kind of it seems a little off, at least for me, just because we haven't done this together in our normal routines, what we normally go through. We'll kind of get back to that starting next week. This one, we didn't want to write anything down. It was just kind of a free float show. Again, if anybody has any questions, we have a few minutes left. Let us know. Hopefully this doesn't mean there's going to be all of a sudden more press releases coming out.
Well, there hasn't been any press releases. So even if we had a show flow today, there wouldn't have been any press releases. I mean, I know we've convicted some people of certain crimes. That there have been old crimes. I know, but there's nothing really major about them. There's really nothing newsworthy about them.
Not now. I mean, it was then.
Right.
But
it was then. But
not March 12th.
No, we're just looking forward to, daylight savings times happened already. St. Patrick's Day is Sunday.
Oh, so right.
Everybody should have a plan for, St. Patrick's Day is Sunday. So spring begins on March 19th, it said. Easter's in 2 weeks. We're going to hammer March out. It's going to go out really quick, and it'll be April.
St. Patrick's Day the night before or that day for law enforcement, is it a thing?
Well, I think we're prepared for Saturday night. We're not expecting a huge thing on Saturday night, but because it's on a Sunday, I think we'll be okay. But Saturday night will be a few more things. So, I don't know. It's not a huge thing for us, so I'm not too concerned about Saturday night. But it depends on the weather. I mean, it's going to be nice. It's not going to be 70 degrees, so that will help. I mean, those nice Saturdays are. I mean. And there's going to be some fire bans and burns. I know the DNR already pulled all the burning permits. And so I would guess some fire departments will start to put some burning bans out here very shortly. So that'll mean you even can't have any backyard fires if they put burning bans out. But if you're in a DNR zone, zero burning at all for anything right now. And if you're in a DNR zone, you and I aren't, because you live in Spooner, I live in Rice Lake. We're not in a DNR zone, but if your fire department then puts out a burning ban, then you can't even have a backyard fire. So on some of these nice days, if it doesn't get some rain, we're going to see some burning bans go into place. So be careful of that. Watch that. Fires can go out of control very easily, even in neighborhoods. So we don't want that, because it is super dry out is what they're telling me. So there is some concern from the DNR about fire dangers. We'll keep an eye on that as we go along here this spring.
Well, speaking of, since we're talking so much about weather, Dirk, if you have your forecast, go ahead and put that in. Fitzy, what do you have coming up this week? I think we've covered a lot of things coming up in the future, but anything specific this week?
No, we got highway safety this afternoon. That is a traffic safety meeting with our highway commissioner and a lot of our state people. Talk about anything that happened on the roads. We talked about a couple meetings today. A library meeting tonight. I got a couple things tomorrow. Nothing out of the ordinary, though. I mean,
well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, nothing huge. Thursday, I got a meeting somewhere. I'm just pulling up my calendar. I don't know somewhere. Oh, Lana's Cafe is an ADRC program. We talked a little bit about that.
I don't remember Lana's what?
That's in Hagen, and they have a meal where you can go there for a cheap breakfast, and that supports the ADRC program.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I do remember that now.
They get dressed up and go. We're going to talk about, you're going to see some press releases over the next few months on homeless sex offenders right now, unless we find a place for them. That'll be an interesting topic for us in the future, because you're going to start to see, we have some people being released that have no connections to the area, but they have to be placed here under state law.
Because that's where where they were convicted.
Correct. You have to go where they're convicted. So I'm giving a talk on Thursday to a Cumberland Women's Club. We have an internal meeting on sex offenders on Thursday, and then we're gonna watch some hockey this weekend and Big Ten tournament and ACC, and then get ready for March Madness next week.
My goodness, these are great things. I mean, mostly great things, but even the things that you're talking about, they're heavier topics, but it's educational pieces.
Yeah.
I look forward to having those conversations on the show as well. Dirk Miller, warm today and tomorrow. High 60, 65 today. That's crazy. 55 to 60 tomorrow. Light rain on Thursday, 45 to 50. Okay, so the next couple of days, that was a great one, Dirk. Thank you. We like that one. Cooler for the weekend, highs. And we don't like this one as much. We like part one better. A little rain for Saturday. Maybe some rain and snow Saturday. What? Rain and snow Saturday night? Don't be surprised if we remain dry. That seems to be a common theme. So if we get any precipitation, it sounds like it's not going to last very long.
Right, and we'll be fine. And Dirk's just like, oh, it might rain, it might snow, it might be dry. Oh, good, thanks. Again, Dirk with the top of it, on top of his game right there. It might snow, it might rain, it might be dry.
Yeah, 30 to 65, somewhere in there.
30 to 65, somewhere in there, and it might rain, it might snow.
Obviously, we're just razzing you a little bit, Dirk. We think you're awesome. I mean, that is pretty good. Boy, that's going to be great today and tomorrow. So, yeah, go outside today or tomorrow. Holy cow. I think I'm going to see who's got a driving range open. I'm going to go to the driving range. If Spooner Butternut's open today, I'm going to go out there today. First time I've been out all year, but I should probably start at the driving range.
Probably should. Practice up for August. We're gonna win that tournament in August.
Last year our goal was to not come in last, and we did accomplish that. I don't remember where we fell, because they have like this different ranking system, and I couldn't figure it out, but we did pretty decent.
That's right.
I'll take decent.
That's right. What are you doing all week?
I don't know.
Going to the driving range?
Going to the driving range. Yeah.
I think I'm just going to close up shop today.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I already got a whole bunch of work done this morning. Our booking reports and everything are all up. I have to do a crime and court story still, put this post up about our show, and then do our obituaries. And after that, I've got like 2 hours of work left. I've been hard at it since 4 this morning. Yeah. So, I think around 11 o'clock, I think I am going to go.
There you go.
Yeah.
It should be nice by then.
Exactly.
That's right.
Awesome. All right. Well, next week we'll be a little more on our game. A little more.
We're on our game.
I think so. I just like a little more structure for some reason, like an order where everything goes. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Dryden Wire founder Ben Dryden, and you have been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience, his locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Like Fitzy and I, they believe it's the little things that make a big difference. What, Dirk? As far as tornadoes go in Wisconsin this year, below normal. Below normal. Well, we don't really get a lot, do we?
Well, no, but it was supposedly the jet stream moved it up. Remember,
you're the one that brought that up.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, so for like last week or something. I think you brought that up last week. You were asking. Yeah, okay. Well, in case people weren't watching that show, they're wondering when was that discussed. Oh, well, that's nice. That's weird, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think we're going to get worse something, but nothing? It's just going to be dry and fiery?
I don't want a fiery tornado. That would be bad. That'd be bad.
I meant a fight. Never mind. Never mind. That's a wrap for us. We'll see everybody next week. Thanks for watching. As always, have a blessed day.